Good evening. You are attending a meeting of the Board of Adjustments. These meetings are quasi-judicial in nature. All decisions made by the board will be final. If you are going to speak tonight and you're not an applicant or agent, please fill out a speaker's card by the front door and turn it into the clerk. No applauding or comments outside of the open comment will be allowed. Please silence your cell phones. May I please have a roll call?
Douglas Dell,
Here.
Owen Curley, Jeff Trular,
Here.
Matt Metz,
Here.
Karen Darty,
Here.
Gary Hockett,
Here.
Victor Malone.
Thank you. Did we already administer the oaths of office outlined in the agenda?
Mr. Malone is not here.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any old business. Do we have any correspondence? No? All right, that would take us on to new business. If we could read the first case.
First case number BOA 26-10012, applicant Emily Costa Doherty, property address 1601 North 6th Avenue, current zoning RS1, motion to consider 34611E1C2 for an easterly side yard setback of 8.1 feet in lieu of 10 feet, 34611E1C2 for westerly side yard setback of 7.7 feet in lieu of 10 feet, 34611E1C1 for front yard setback of 21 feet in lieu of 25 feet minimum to address existing nonconformities and allow for a second-story addition, new front addition, and front entry porch to an existing one-story single-family home.
Do any board members have any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
No.
I've had none.
I've had none.
And I've had none. Would the applicant or agent please step forward to present the case?
Sorry. Please raise your right hand, state your name and address. Oh, can you turn your mic on? I'm sorry. Thank you.
Hi. My name is John Raymer. My address is 813 Harbor Preserve Court, Ponte Vedra, Florida, 32081.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
So, with this addition, I just wanted to point out that we are staying within the envelope of the existing home. The side setbacks are already set by the house. The front, the original setback was 20, so we were trying to come out with a little portico to create a little porch. The new setbacks, I don't know when they went into effect. I'm not sure about that, but it increased it to 25. So all in all the houses in that area are built to the old standard. Most of them have the setbacks that we're requesting now. So that's my case. I don't know what else to say. I just wanted to answer any questions if you have them.
See, the question I had was the porch is not going any farther than what exists right now.
The porch will be coming out about 3 feet further than it is now.
But that didn't change the setbacks.
It will change the new setbacks, yes.
So it did vary from the original setbacks, but that's the only change you have with setbacks then.
Correct.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant?
I know that.
All right, you can take a step back.
Thank you.
The public is given 3 minutes to speak. Do we have any speakers cards on this item?
Card we had was from the applicant, so we have no other speaker cards for case number.
Does anyone in the audience wish to speak? If so, you can come forward and then fill out a speaker's card afterward. If not, I'll close the public comment on this item. All right, closing the public comment, bring it back to the board. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve BOA 26-11012 based on the testimony and evidence provided The request has met the standards for variance outlined in section 34-286 of the Land Development Code.
Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll open to the board for discussion.
Reviewing it looked reasonable to me as far as the same setbacks, except for the porch.
Any other comments? No? All right, we'll take to a vote. May I have a roll call vote on the motion?
Douglas Dell,
Yes.
Jeff Trular,
Yes.
Karen Darty. Yes. Gary Hockett,
Yes.
Matt Metz.
Yes, your motion is approved. You can call the next case.
Case number BOA 26-10013, applicant Nick Stam, agent Scott Ray, property address 123 South 30th Avenue, current zoning RS1, motion considers sections 34611E1C1 for a front yard setback of 16 feet in lieu of 25 feet, 34-611E1C2 for a side yard setback of 7.6 feet in lieu of 10 feet, and 34611E1E for maximum lot coverage for primary structure and required driveway of 49% in lieu of 35% for construction for a new single-family home located at property address 123 South 30.
Does anyone on the board have any ex parte communication?
I've done.
I've had none.
I've had none.
And I've had none. Will the applicant or agent please step forward to be sworn in and present your case?
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
My name is Nick Stam, and I live at 317 Ponte Vedra Boulevard in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you
I
God?
do.
Go ahead.
The case is a house that was sitting on two lots. The address is 123 30th Avenue South. I purchased that house about a month ago, and I raised the house, and I plan on going back to the two lots of record and build two single-family homes there. And the reason for the request is that each one of those lots, they're identical in size. They're 58 feet wide by 87 feet deep on 30th Avenue, and that's about 5,000 square feet each one of the lots. And they're substandard lots for construction, and that's the reason why I'm here to request the variance because of the lots being substandard.
Do we have any questions from the board?
I had a question too. What is the minimum depth the driveway has to be?
The minimum depth of a driveway?
Yeah.
According to our LDC, the driveway 9 by 17 is the standard.
I'm sorry, how many?
9 by 17.
17?
Yeah.
This is only showing a 16-foot driveway.
Hmm.
I thought we were.
Yeah, probably because of the substandard lot, he's not able to make a big enough driveway.
But
the
does it
standard.
come up across the variance application then? Okay.
Any other questions?
I have no other questions.
Okay, thank you. We'll open up to the public comment.
Thank you.
Do we have any speakers cards on this item?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is 13. Yes, we have a card from Mr. Brad Williams. He said he'd like to address the board.
Please be sworn in, and then you'll have 3 minutes.
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
Harry B. Williams, 128 29th Avenue South.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead.
All right, thank you. I'd like to start out by stating that the gentleman's comment that the lots are substandard for two-family homes is correct. It was plotted for one single-family home, and that's why it's substandard for two. My concern is with the obstruction of views, the obstruction of green space, or the lessening of green space, added congestion to our already small streets, and I believe that it will have a negative impact on our property values. I own two homes in the neighborhood, and I have serious concerns over what this will do for my property values at both homes. My understanding is that anyone applying for a variance has to state that it will create undue hardship if they're not granted the variance. And my understanding is the request for additional density for economic purposes is not a valid reason for a variance. That's my understanding. I'm not a lawyer. That is my understanding. I think it sets a harmful precedent, spot zoning like this. And I'm concerned that every one of my neighbors is going to want to do the same thing. And that we're going to end up with homes right next to each other. My wife and I moved from California here to avoid having homes built on top of each other with basically no yards. I grew up in this neighborhood. I grew up on 26th Avenue South in the Ocean. We chose our location to raise our children in this neighborhood because of the charm, because of that sort of larger lot feel and kind of old Florida charm. And it would be disappointing to allow this to set a dangerous precedent. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no other cards to my knowledge in front of me.
No other cards. Do we have anybody else in the audience that wants to speak on this item? You can fill out a card and hand it to the clerk afterward. Oh, come on up. You'll be sworn in, and then we'll figure out which card that was. Sorry.
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
John Spinks, 132 30th Avenue South.
And Whitney Spinks, 132 30th Avenue South.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you guys for all being here. We are here to speak to BOA 26-10013 and also 14. We are the property owners across the street from the subject property. Mr. Stam, as he mentioned, the applicant, he recently purchased this double lot last month on February 10th. At that time, he knew that it was two lots that were platted, and therefore he can build two homes there. A term that he used to quote would be substandard, and Mr. Williams brought that up. I'll have to disagree. I think that the term substandard is an irrelevant term. I'm a custom home builder myself. We built multiple homes in Jacksonville Beach, Atlantic Beach, Ponte Vedra Beach, Neptune Beach, and Amelia Island. And we've never, I've been building homes for over 10 years. We've never requested a single variance. That's not necessarily something that we make a habit of. And that is one of our concerns with this applicant and with this subject property, as Mr. Williams mentioned, for the board to set a precedent in approving a variance request for a successful investor, especially one who's not a member of the Jacksonville Beach community, would be a terrible precedent to set. Spot zoning is a great term, and the reason that the Land Development Code exists is to set the precedents, set the rules, set the setbacks, and set the coverages to avoid situations exactly like this. This is a flip property that the applicant will be building two homes, maybe one, doubtful, and he will be selling those homes. He's asked for variances for side setbacks, front setbacks, rear setbacks, and maximum coverages The front setback is also kind of a double whammy because, of course, if you decrease the front setback, you need less driveway. Therefore, you get to put more coverage toward the footprint of the house and less required toward what would be a shorter driveway. If you were to approve the variance for the front setback, this would be the closest home to the street on the entire block. It is possible to build a home on a 58 by 87 lot. It would be a small home. The applicant actually beat out multiple other bidders when purchasing this property, some of which undoubtedly were probably investors, some maybe homeowners, but he is willing to develop the property as is, shown by his eagerness to purchase it.
We would just ask that you please consider what's best for Jacksonville Beach and the neighbors and the residents who actually live here rather than an investor's profit.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak on this item? Sorry, excuse me. Would anybody else like to speak on this item? No? If the applicant would like to come up and address any of those comments, you're welcome to do so at this time. Nope. All right, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to move the case along. I make a motion to approve BOA 2610013. Based on testimony and evidence provided, the request has met all of the standards for a variance outlined in section 34286 of the Land Development Code.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Opening up to discussion, I'll kick us off just by addressing some of the public comment. There are certain items that we're able to consider on the board and others that we're not. We're not able to consider the impact of property values. We're not able to consider the impact of use. We're not able to consider someone as an investor versus an applicant that's going to reside in the home. So there are some aspects of your comments I just want to make clear that we're not able to take into account for our discussion and our decision this evening. So with that clarity, I'll bring it to the board for any further discussion on the item.
Just for my discussion review in the case, I will not be supporting my motion going forward.
Any other comments?
I'm not going to support it.
So what we want to do is really outline what criteria we do consider and articulate sort of our interpretation of that. So in that regard, I'll highlight the first area of criteria is the conditions or circumstances that exist which prevent compliance with the site design development standards are unique to the parcel of land. This would be unique to the parcel of land. It is specific to the lot coverage as it was laid out by the county. The conditions or circumstances do not result from actions of the applicant and would not be considered a self-imposed hardship. This is one where the existing structure that's been removed was platted as one residence on the two lots, and the applicant has decided to divide those lots, thereby creating the hardship. So I do not believe that condition has been met. There would be no special privileges afforded to the applicant by granting a variance that is not applicable to other parcels of land, building, or structures with similar conditions or circumstances. Without getting into the over detailed analysis of what this would be, it is not clear to me that what is being requested is the minimum necessary to make use of this lot. A 16-foot front yard setback is much greater of an encroachment than we would typically see from this. Being a new build, it's not been stated that in any way this would be the minimum necessary to make a viable use even in a substandard lot. So I'm not convinced that C has been met either. Strict interpretation and enforcement of the code would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other parcels of land and would provide an unnecessary and undue hardship. I do not see that as the case. The variance requested, if granted, will make possible a reasonable use of the parcel of land, building, or structure. While it would make possible a reasonable use, I think has been articulated in the prior commentary that there was a home already on the two plats, and I don't think it's been demonstrated that there cannot be other reasonable use made even with the division into two 5,000 square foot lots. Within the Jacksonville Beach community, there are a lot of lots that are around 5,000 square feet that don't have this level of variance requested to make them livable. The variance request, if granted, will not result in the creation of a public nuisance. I don't see in this case where a definitive case has been made around a public nuisance where it would impede traffic in a way that disrupts views, that could or could not be the case, but no evidence has been provided to that effect. So with that context, I would say that it fails to meet condition B and that it does result from actions from the applicant. And that would be my view for the board.
I don't believe it's a result of the applicant because he's turning it back into the original lots. He's literally using a lot of what was on record, so he's not creating the problem. He's returning the lot to what it was originally plotted as. So it's technically not a created problem.
I respect your interpretation. The applicant's testimony did state that they tore down the house that was there with the decision to do something else. That to me is a decision of conscious effort.
Oh.
Any other comments on the application so far? No? With that, I'll take the motion to a vote.
Jeff Trular,
No.
Karen Darty. No. Douglas Dow,
No.
Gary Hockett.
No.
Matt Metz.
No, your motion has, or excuse me, your variance request has been denied. Can we call the next case, please?
Next case is BOA 2610014, applicant Nick Stram. Property address 123 South 30th Avenue. Current zoning, RS1. Motion considered 34611E1C1 for front yard setback of 20 feet in lieu of 25 feet. 34611EC2 for side yard setback of 5 feet in lieu of 10 feet. 34611E1C3 for rear yard setback of 20 feet in lieu of 30 feet minimum. And 34611E1E for maximum lot coverage for primary structure and required driveway 49% in lieu of 35. For construction of a new single-family home located at property address 123 South 30th.
Has anyone on the board had any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
Had none?
I have none.
And I've had none. Would the applicant like to come be sworn in to present your case?
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
Name's Scott Ray. Address is 345 South Roscoe, Ponte Vedra Boulevard, 32082.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. So this is the adjacent lot, so we just had this discussion, and in light of what just happened, under the impression that since the original deed had two lots separate like that, that we were able to go ahead and make this decision to move forward, trying to create an opportunity for someone to have two houses and basically provide additional living space in the beach here. And in light of what everybody that has been previously before me had said about the density and this and that, it is important too that you provide additional places for people to live and provide more density in the sense of providing somewhere for other people to have the opportunity to live in the neighborhood. And since it was a deeded lot in that original scenario, we were under the impression that that was a possibility and that would be a good use for the owner to proceed with. So in light of that, the lot, once back to its original layout, is what creates a hardship is that it's not conforming to the RS1 zoning, and so in order to make it buildable for us to proceed with two houses, we were trying to create a marketable scenario for the house. So we would like to reconsider the lot as far as the setbacks that we're requesting to be able to make it a purposeful and useful lot for the owner.
Any questions for the applicant?
All the questions?
Okay. In the spirit of making sure that we've seen this all the way through efficiently, I'd like to ask if you would please describe how the proposed site plan would be the minimum reasonable use of the 5,000 square feet.
So in this lot, we were trying to create some variety between the two, so that we're not creating a box in the neighborhood, trying to create a different type of house. So this lot actually has a 20-foot front yard proposed setback versus the 16-foot, which would address the parking situation as well. And we would be building a 2-story market rate house at about 3,200 square foot. So it would basically fit right into the neighborhood. It's not going to be a 3-story house. It would be a 2-story house. We're trying to maintain some variety between the two structures so the character blends in. But again, it provides the opportunity for families to move in and enjoy the beach versus just leaving it as an existing house that was in poor quality condition. And so we're hoping that you can reconsider and try to consider that as a benefit to the neighborhood versus a negative.
Perhaps you could expound a little bit on the necessity for 3,200 square foot.
So what's being built right now is typically in excess of that. So we were trying to do a market rate family house that would have enough bedrooms and baths to support a family of 2 to 3 children, typical family, and also have guest type bedrooms. So we weren't looking for anything like most of the newer houses are more in excess of 4,000 square feet that are in the larger lots. So we're looking for a very, I would consider an average size family house in lieu of like a larger, one single house.
Is there any reduction that could be considered to, say, bring the side yard setbacks in from the 5 foot to meet the standard of 10 foot, or bring the rear yard setback closer to the 30 foot to give relief to the rear neighbor? Or is this the absolute minimum that would be viable for a build on this lot?
So we had looked at that scenario, and basically we could definitely pull in the side yard setbacks without really affecting our goal of square footage. When we pull in the back setback, it starts to become difficult to develop, especially with the standard rule, which is 30 feet, and then so it just becomes so shallow with the lot. So when we go back to the hardship of the substandard lot, it's not just the width; it's the depth of the lot. So the lot is basically 58 by 87. So it makes it very difficult to create a two-story house. So then we're forced to go to 3 stories. And as you probably are aware, most people prefer not to build a 3-story house that's blocking the views and creating, stigma for the neighborhood versus the benefit. So I think in sense of scale and trying to create a house that blends in versus one that stands out, we're trying to keep it 2 stories and close to 3,000 square feet. So we could do that with the side yards reduced, maintain the front, and ideally maintain the back as well for the proposal.
Would you be amenable to the board potentially proposing an alternate variance request that adjusts the side yards accordingly, or would that not be something you'd be interested in hearing?
I believe so. Can you vouch for that?
Yeah, you'll have to. Does he have to get sworn in again since he was on the last case, or?
Oh, no.
No. Oh, yes. Step forward.
The whole idea here is to maintain the character at the beach. I've lived in Jack's Beach, and I am very familiar with the vibe and the eclectic and the quality of life in that area. And trying to avoid 3-story houses, it doesn't have a lot of appeal or usage for families. And I think that area is very much attracted to young families with children. And that's the reason why what we're trying to do is to create two-story houses with enough space for a family, young family. 2,000, 2,400, 2,500 square feet for a family of 2 or 3. Most people actually are looking to upgrade and move to a larger space for their families. So 3,000 to 3,400 square feet is what most families with 2 to 3 children are looking to buy these days. So that's one consideration for looking at the variance to be able to build 2-story versus 3-story homes. And the other one is, and the reason why we're looking for different setbacks in one lot versus the other is to not build two boxes so that you can have architecturally different houses, even though they are next to each other, they look very different. Again, elevation and what have you, in order to maintain the character of that very special neighborhood, which is South Jacks Beach. That's the reason why we are requesting, the variance at this point. And thank you for your consideration.
Appreciate the additional comment. I didn't capture the takeaway, which is, would you be interested in us applying any sort of an adjustment to the requested variance on our side?
Yes, I believe so, especially the side yard setbacks. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant?
I have no questions.
No? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
With that, do we have any speakers cards on this item?
I'm sorry, this is your first time. Would you like to speak again? I saw you before. Okay.
Since you've already been sworn in, we'll just start the clock when you get going.
Sure. Okay, so just quickly, is there, with regards to the variance request, they mentioned building two-story homes. Jacks Beach obviously allows 3-story homes. So how do we know that once you're going to approve or modify the variance that we don't end up with three-story boxes right next to each other? That's a huge concern of mine. It sounds nice. I hope they build two very architecturally beautiful houses that are different, but the variance doesn't, as far as I know, this is just regarding setbacks and lot coverage. So I just have a lot of things running through my head. Do you want to add to that?
Since this is a single applicant for a prior single home, now split onto two previously platted lots, I got a little bit confused, Matt. I do understand some of the things that the board can take into consideration and some that they cannot. An investor going to sell these properties, it's very obvious the only reason for this variance request, which is egregious times 2, is to maximize profits. This is how I make my money. I build spec homes, so I understand intimately this entire process. I also understand that the 2 homes proposed to be built here would create a parking issue as 30th Avenue South, especially between 1st and 2nd, becomes a hotspot for parking on weekends and during peak season. So a shorter driveway, allowing less room for whoever buys the property from Mr. Stan and his associates. They will have less room to park on the lot, forcing them to create a further parking problem on 30th Avenue South. At times, it's actually a problem for us pulling out of our driveway across the street. The Land Development Code was designed for the benefit of the community. When it comes to variance requests, the profit of an investor owner should never supersede what's best for the surrounding neighbors and the community as a whole. We have multiple concerns regarding floodwater, drainage. Have there been any design submittals other than the cut the screenshot of a partial rudimentary site plan submitted to the board? Have there been any landscape submittals? Have there been any architectural, drainage, or civil engineering submittals? There is currently already a lack of adequate off-site parking. The Land Development Code for Jacksonville Beach was recently revised to work with residents and developers, creating a more realistic baseline, not requiring as many variances for lot coverages with the 35 and 15 for the building and the
Impervious.
driveway impervious. We've lived in the community for 16 years. We just spent our life savings on the house across the street, and we hope that you consider the community and its residents in your decision. Thank you.
Do we have any other speakers that would like to speak to this item? No? All right, with that, we will close the
Do you want to have a
public
rebuttal?
comment. I'm sorry, what?
Do you want to give them the rebuttal or no?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. We'll close the public comment if the applicant or agent would like to come forward and address any of that.
Just, if it helps if it helps at all, since they are adjacent lots, we consider any kind of adjustments to the other lot as well, if that's necessary.
We've already ruled on that, so we're not able to,
Okay, excuse me,
back to
gotcha.
that, but thanks, appreciate you. All right, with that, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve BOA 261000014 based on testimony and evidence provided. The request has met all the standards for variance as outlined in section 34286 of the Land Development Code.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
The applicant did come say that it's acceptable, but it's not our position to make a decision on our variance of what the side setback should be reduced to or increased to. And there's other sizes of houses available that would fit on that lot. Optimal size is not the purpose of.
Okay. Doing some fast math, sorry, that's why I'm looking at the computer here. Just in terms of scale of what was proposed, the 2256 is the theoretical footprint of the home itself, which equates to the lot coverage that was being requested as part of the variance, reducing one side of that by 10 feet to get to the 10-foot, to get to that 10-foot side yard setback on either side. Would take that down by about 10%. So instead of needing 49% coverage, that would roughly equate to 39% coverage. So that's just closing the loop on why I'm distracted at the moment for a comment. Going through each item, I think there are conditions or circumstances that exist which prevent the compliance of the site design and development standards or which are unique to the parcel of land. It is a plotted parcel of land that is substandard in size. So there is a unique circumstance. The conditions or circumstances do not result from the actions of the applicant and be considered self-imposed. The applicant did not sculpt the use of the land, so the question becomes, is there a use of the land and is this the minimum variance of that land? So I think in the comment, I don't recall exactly how it was articulated, but there was a statement to the effect of, it was their understanding that you could use the two plots. That is correct to my knowledge. We're not here to rule on whether you can do anything with the lot. We're here to rule on whether the variances requested are the minimum appropriate use of the lot as it was platted. So you have every right to develop the two lots separately as platted, but that does not inherently mean you can treat them as if they were a 10,000 square foot or 9,000 square foot lot. So the question becomes are they usable at that size? There would be no special privileges afforded to the applicant by granting a variance not applicable to other parcels of land, building, or structures with similar conditions or circumstances. Strict interpretation and enforcement of the code would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other parcels of land and would provide an unnecessary and undue hardship. The variance requested, if granted, will make possible a reasonable use of the parcel of land, building, or structure, and the variance request, if granted, will not result in the creation of a public nuisance. So the question that I'm sort of stuck here on is whether this is the minimum necessary to make use of the parcel under the request. It does not appear that it is, based on the applicant testimony, that while not ideal, there is a world in which having 10-foot setbacks could still create a home that is a livable space and functional use of the property. The kind of comment that was brought up by the public of note is this is a open box theoretical view of things. It's not a plan of exactly what they'll build, so it's not a variance that we could tie back to. This is the plan that is clearly articulated, and that'll be executed under this variance. It kind of attaches to the lot to allow any building within these specs. If I look at the zone, it's a 9,000 square foot standard minimum size. This is just over 5,000 square feet. It's materially substandard at the build requirements of 50%. That would be well beneath the 35% typically used by a standard lot, and if it's reduced further, it would get closer to being within that 40% range, which on what is just over half the size of a standard lot starts to look more like variances we have approved in the past. The 20-foot front yard setback is slightly small for this zoning district, but not out of the realm of reasonability. 20-foot rear yard setback, again, we've seen many yards in that 20-foot setting. To me, making the reasonable use of this substandard lot without seeing the actual proposed plan, this does appear to me to be something that if we had a plan for an exact home, we would approve, kind of regardless of what that home looked like. This does start to look like the minimum viable use of a 5,000 square foot lot without an overreach of impermeable space or an overreach of encroachment on neighbors. So that would be my interpretation of the request. Should we amend the proposal to have 10-foot setbacks? So with that, I'll reopen to the board for any additional comment, or if anybody would like to make any other motions.
The comment is that they are meeting the parking requirements. That's as far as we go in that conversation. Yeah. And this does have 4 parking spots, I believe, which is good.
Nothing else? All right, we'll vote on the motion as it exists, which is the variance request as it was proposed.
Karen Darty? No. Douglas Dell?
No.
Jeff Truler?
No.
Gary Hockett?
No.
Matt Metz?
No, your request for variance has been denied.
Next case, BOA 2610015, applicant Jeffrey and Grace Maxwell, property address 504 South 2nd Street. Current zoning C1, motion considered 34614E3C1 for front yard setback of 3.7 in lieu of 20 feet minimum, 34614E3C2 for interior corner side yards of 3.9 feet in lieu of 10 feet minimum, 34614E3C2 for corner yard setback of 4.5 in lieu of 10 feet minimum, 34614E3C3 for rear yard setback of 5 feet in lieu of 20 feet minimum for the following: the RM standards to address the existing nonconformities to allow expansion of the structure to accommodate a second dwelling to an existing one-story historic single-family home located at property address 504 South 2nd Street.
Have any members of the board had any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
I've had none.
I have no.
And I have had none. The applicant would like to be sworn in and provide your case.
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
Grace Maxwell, 504 2nd Street South, Jacks Beach.
Jeff Maxwell, 504 2nd Street South, Jacks Beach.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
We live at 504 2nd Street South, that single-family historic home, and we are looking to renovate and improve it, keep the historical facade, and add a little bit of an addition. So the variance is really just addressing the current setbacks as they exist. So not much.
Yeah, I don't think with our plans we're planning on expanding any of the setbacks that we already have. It's
Right.
just cementing what we already have with what's existing.
So it's in a commercial zoning. It's a single-family historic, and we have to change it to multifamily. So we've got next week the conditional use that's happening concurrently to have multifamily.
So I'm sorry, am I hearing you correct, saying you're adding addition to add a secondary residential?
A second residential, yes.
Second residential, okay.
Correct.
Let's make sure I hear that, everybody read. Okay. And I had a question to Dev. I don't read any parking, C1 parking requirements for this.
Since it's becoming dwelling like us, they're doing like multifamily, it's different from the C1 standards. I think it's we do it with RM1 or RM2 standards, I believe we put on there. Yeah, so it goes by the RM1 standards since they're developing a livable dwelling in the C1 district.
So I'm sorry, what is the parking requirements then?
It's just regular since it's a single family home. As long as I have
The
two.
multifamily has parking as a single family home?
No, oh, so it's multifamily. It's supposed to. How many units are you gonna have in there?
Just two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just-
currently have
and
two
we'll have four on the property.
Four
Four
parking.
parking
Is
spaces.
it 4 units? And I'm seeing,
No, 2 units, and we'll have 4 parking spaces on the property.
okay, 4 parking
yeah,
spots.
that should be adequate for a multifamily and RM1.
Just around question of operation, how do you have 2 residential units when the parking's stacked like that? How, I mean,
There's
it's-
2 on each side of
I
the
understand.
4 cars sit on the driveway itself, and then there's one in
The
the
driveway's that wide, with 4
garage.
cars across? Yeah, that's what I'd scale.
9x18, 9x18. Each
The
parking
driveway is only 16 feet deep, correct? And the driveway is 20, sorry, I can't see, 28 feet wide? Is that right?
Looks like 25.
25.
25. So that, okay. So, go back to my question, 4 units would require only 4 parking spots?
2 units.
You said 2, then you say 4, oh, you say 4 parking spots, but 2 units, okay. Make sure I'm not hearing this right. Okay. So that would be the parking requirements, like, other than this foot short, that'd be in this sidewalk.
Yeah, that's correct. And plus, they have the garage too to add for extra parking.
What'd you say about extra parking?
In the garage.
25 feet, is that 4 spots? 25 feet? That's like 3 spots. You need to.
Because 9x17 usually 2 spots. That's the standard, and they're a little bigger than 9x17.
Okay, 25 feet wide is 3. It's 2. So you need parking spots, both 2 in the driveway and 2 in the garage to be.
Is the garage the dark gray checkered space?
No,
to
that's
the,
a driveway.
I'm sorry, that's a what?
that's
the
additional.
driveway.
So you have existing driveway, and then up to the right is additional driveway.
Correct.
Oh, that's what. Maybe that's some clarity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
I
super.
wish I could explain. So there's a driveway up to the right side of it.
And I've heard garage a couple of. Is there a garage?
I can open up that's why. Is there a garage on site?
Is there a garage there?
There's a
In
garage
the, in the new plan?
In the plan, yes, there's garage.
Where was the garage in the new plan? Is that the top
on
back?
the,
Top right.
Top
Okay.
right.
So does that garage have? So that's a garage door, kind of to the right of the garage where you would enter from
Right.
the driveway.
Correct.
Okay. Very helpful. Can you help me? I was looking at this quite a bit on Sunday, trying to understand the separation between the units. Just because there's doors through all of this where it all connects. I don't know if that's a fire thing. Or
Yeah, it's
how
a
do we view the?
It was built in the 1930s, so there's a lot of funkiness going on there. But yeah, it's down the middle, and then I don't.
really, where the blue is the existing structure.
Right.
We had a existing bedroom suite that we actually tore down already because we're anticipating the new construction going onto the roadways and stuff like that. We didn't want to damage all that once we demoed. So we've already demoed that portion. Can I approach?
Anything you show me physical has to go to the clerk and stay with us. But if we can reference what's on the screen,
Can I walk over there and point locally?
absolutely. Do we even have a laser pointer, guys? I don't know.
I'm trying to find one.
He's got one.
Where see this pink where over here is?
Yes.
Oh, this works.
Doesn't work on TV.
That was existing structure that we have since demolished because it was built on railroad ties and it was failing.
The foundation.
We demolished that and we demolished the shed garage that was existing back there. The same reason it was just falling down. We wanted to get all the demolition done prior to
Oh, the road work.
all the new construction going on, new sidewalks and all that. So we've done that already. We've gone in and we've fixed all the foundations underneath the existing house. We thought we were going to keep this as a single-family residential and just build these 2 bedrooms onto it. Then we were told we kind of have to go through this multifamily zoning in order to do so. So that's kind of changed our plans.
So the
That's
requirement
what
is
I'm
driving.
trying to.
The requirement is driving you to add the secondary residential. To
Correct.
Okay. It's kind of strange, but yeah.
What I'm trying to understand is if it's a multifamily.
Okay. I think they're just confused because we're using RM1 standards to address the thing. So it's not technically multifamily, but they're using RM1 standards since it's in a C1 zoning district. But it's initially single family.
It was single family. Their application is to apply multifamily standards under conditional use.
Since it's C1, they have to use RM1 standards because C1 doesn't have a single family standard for building. So when a single family already exists in C1, we go off RM1 standards. So it's not multifamily. It's just residential multifamily one zoning, but they are initially just asking for single family setbacks.
RM1 has single family and multifamily standards.
Mm-hmm. It's urban. Yeah, they're going.
So with it being C1, you just skip single family altogether and
No,
it automatically gets
it's
multifamily.
urban single family and RM1. That's what we put on there.
So it's not multifamily, it's urban civil.
No, yeah, urban single family.
See if I can find that. That was not clear in the notes to me. Sorry, bear with us. Just want to make
it's
sure
okay,
I'm
man.
looking
We're
at the right
confused as well.
criteria. I don't see that anywhere in the C1 notes within the code. And I'm not intimately familiar with this, so bear with us as we navigate. So just to clarify then, with this addition, will this be functioning as a single family home or will there be multiple tenants in this space?
We don't know yet.
We just
I mean,
want to build
our
it.
intent is to live on one side and just rent out the other side, but I also have children that are, having kids. I don't know if we're going to rent out to them. I mean, I don't know what we're going to do yet.
Like a mother-in-law.
But I do know we got to fix the structure because it's been exposed for about a year.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm going back through that.
That's why they're also going to the PC board to get a conditional use. So because they're in C1, in order to have a single family in C1, you need a conditional use one, and you have to follow RM1 standards. But like this is a rare occurrence. There's not many single family homes in C1. This is one of the historic buildings. If you look at 34,617, and then go down to conditional uses.
Yep.
Those are one of the permitted uses in C1.
Townhouse dwelling, home-based business, miscellaneous repair. It says townhouse dwelling per RM1 dimensional standards and multifamily dwellings. Multifamily RM1, and that for properties located east of 3rd Street, the minimum lot size and density for multifamily dwelling shall be determined in accordance with paragraph E3A. So it's townhouse dwelling and multifamily dwelling. So there is no single family reference there. So that's why they would be applying for a multifamily conditional use, and this would be a multifamily
Yeah.
if approved by the conditional
Yeah,
use.
they're, the only reason why they're getting the variance is because the current nonconformities, and they're adding an accessory dwelling unit, right?
Adding on a
Yeah, they're adding an accessory dwelling unit in the back to make it a multifamily. But as it exists right now, it's a single family, but it will become multifamily once the conditional use is approved. And the conditional use is for the addition they're adding.
pink area.
Just better.
Okay, so help me again as I see this as a multifamily. It's got what would be essentially a front door entrance where that covered wood deck is on the left of the screen. If you divide with a horizontal line across the middle, you've got a family home at the top, a family home at the bottom.
Correct.
On the far right side or the back side of the home is an existing driveway plus additional driveway to have ample parking to support the multifamily requirements with a garage on the back for storage and coverage. If I look at the top half, that's got its own kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, living space. If I look at the bottom half, that's got its own kitchen,
It will.
bathroom,
Correct.
bedroom, living space.
Correct.
Okay. It's just difficult looking at the plans to
Yeah.
confirm that. So that's helpful for me. Sorry to continue to ask you
That's okay.
repeatedly
Yeah,
these questions.
this is part of our one of the things we added on to the LDC. Single families within commercial areas. If you're a single family, you're able to have an accessory dwelling unit on certain parts of east, I think, of 3rd Street. So I think there will be like the second people to actually do this, actually add an accessory dwelling unit to their home. So it's like they're part of the, I guess.
But this won't be an accessory dwelling unit. This is part of the primary structure, right? So that's why it's
Part of the
multifamily.
primary structure.
It'll be connected to primary structure, but it will be considered as an accessory dwelling unit, though. It's just going to be connected to it, right?
It's connected.
Pretty much a connected ADU.
Yeah. Okay. So is it multifamily or is it not multifamily?
Yeah.
You're confused. They're saying we're good, so then it's
Yeah, no, it's
okay,
multifamily.
multifamily. Okay.
Yeah, so
we're
that's
good.
why they're also getting the conditional use.
All right. Any other questions from the board?
I understand it now. but-
Okay.
Sorry for being confusing.
No.
I'm
Thank you.
thinking that dark gray was garage or something. That's
All right. Thank you very much. Do we have any speakers cards on this item?
no speaker cards for this case.
No speakers cards. Do we have anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this item? No. All right. With that, we'll close the public comment and bring it to the board for a motion.
Make a motion to approve case BOA 2610015. Based on testimony and evidence provided, the request has met all the standards for variance outlined in section 34286 of the Land Development Code.
We have a motion and a second. Any comment from the board?
After clarity, it makes reasonable usage of it. So,
All right, I would say the request for variance is for existing setbacks of a structure that they're not impeding or tearing down with adequate alternative use within the C1 district. They are entitled to have a multifamily dwelling, and the variances being requested are to address the existing structure. Otherwise, the proposed fully fits the multifamily use within this district. So I think it's a reasonable use of an existing structure to maintain what's in the neighborhood and make best use of the lot as it exists today. Any other comments? All right, we'll take the motion to a vote.
Karen Doherty,
Yes.
Douglas Dell,
Yes.
Jeff Trular,
yes.
Gary Hockett,
Yes.
Matt Metz.
Yes, your motion has been approved.
Next case, BOA 2610016, applicant Russell Cox, property address 803 North Avenue. 803 South 9th Avenue. Current zoning RS3, motion to consider 34613-1C3 for rear setback of 10 feet in lieu of 20 feet, 34613E1E for maximum lot coverage for primary structures and required driveway 39% in lieu of 35% to construct 2 new townhomes located at property address 803 9th Avenue.
Would the applicants please step forward? Has anybody on the board had any ex parte communication?
I've been none.
No, I have not.
I've had none.
Any ex parte communication?
No.
And I've had none. Please be sworn in by the clerk.
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
Russell Cox, 803 9th Avenue South, Jacksonville Beach.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, I live at 803 9th Avenue South, and I'm looking to improve the property to have another rental and being able to afford to keep the property. Right now, I have the south part of 2 lots, lot 11 and lot 12. They're originally zoned like your typical 50 by 125. Sometime in the past, somebody had it rezoned with a few parcels around here. for whatever their needs were. I believe that the neighbor to my west is the same owner as the neighbor to my north, and I believe they owned this whole corner in the past, and they wanted to keep the two houses that they had built and sold off this lot. That's the one that whoever built this current structure had to get some variance so that they could build so close to the rear yard because they're on the southern half of two lots. And the house is in very bad condition right now. It the way that it's built, it sheds water onto the northern property because it's so close. I'm friends with both of the neighbors from living there for a few years, and I came up with like the best design that I could to build these two townhomes and them be okay with it and like it, and they do like this look that I've came up with. We would be changing the address, which to 8th Avenue instead of, 8th Street instead of 9th Avenue. And the townhomes that we're trying to build on them are very narrow, allowing our northern setback to be 19.8 feet instead of the 5 foot that's required. But if I were to build all the way to the north again, I already know that the shedding of water is already a problem. The way that the topo is on the property, being a corner lot, all the water should go out to 9th Ave South and 8th Street South. We would accommodate that with the new construction. And the parking would fit the new standards of being 18 feet wide and over 17 feet long. Being able to accommodate that driveway, it kind of made us have to just shift the use of lot coverage. So we are requesting to have a little bit more of a building footprint than the 35, but we're not using the rest of the 15% for backyard, side yard, any type of other structure. So, and then building this way is only using, it's about 20% less of the width of the property if I were to, instead of building with the correct setbacks, which forces like a 3-story house, and that is kind of not fitting the neighborhood very well. The neighbors prefer this layout, and the original hardship was caused from the split of the two lots in the past, and it's very hard to build on a lot like this. If I were to rebuild a single family house, and it's just in a really bad condition the way that it is right now, so everything would have to be remodeled. I don't know if there's any other questions, but that's, I show a house, that a set of townhomes that we would be building on C. We build these a lot. They're conforming and they look really nice. They have a lot of curb appeal. We take into effect the neighbors all the time, and the D here that I have you guys a picture of is kind of what everybody squeezes on these properties. You can see the tire strips and don't get maintained. That's why the new code allowing more lot coverage to have a correct size full driveway is nice. And then you can just see how the neighboring houses are single story, and this is a 3-story dwelling, just kind of casting shadows over the neighbors. And again, getting the full width makes it to where water wants to shed to the north, and the neighbor is already dealing with that. So me building what I proposed leaves plenty of space. It's actually offsetting on the lot because to the south is a huge easement. It's probably like 25 feet. So this kind of gives the property to the north a little more yard instead of just the property to the south getting like almost like a half acre more and the other one being very minimal. So we're not overbuilding on the property. We're kind of underbuilding, but it's enough to fit what we need. And just asking to get this variance approved.
Any questions for the applicant?
No, I have no questions. Just my question.
I'm trying to see, are you splitting it exactly?
No, but I'm keeping the
Middle,
going over the minimum for the smaller lot. And it's odd, right? But it really puts my, it lets us keep the two 18-foot wide driveways. The lot to the south would still be over the minimum lot
I'd like to also
requirement
mention
size.
he's also going to change the orientation, so it's not going to be on 9th Street anymore. The house are going to be orientated on 8th Street instead of the 9th.
But aren't part
So instead of being this way, he's going to change it and put it on this street right there.
To get the correct
The core
depth.
of my question is around the lot sizes. So if the zone is 6,000 square feet, minimum 3,000 per
Yes.
lot, trying to understand.
The
Yeah,
split
3,000 per lot, yeah.
makes the south lot over 3,000 square feet, and the north lot just grossly over.
So they're both 3,000?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're both over the minimum.
So could you describe for me if they both are conforming in size at 3,000 feet, the hardship that justifies the need for
The
additional
corner lot.
coverage?
Yeah, it's the corner lot.
Can you just articulate fully what that, just so we've got it on record, what the corner lot restrictions are that result in that?
So the corner lot requires 20% side yard setback in lieu of whatever the zoning asks for. So some of you have 15 foot and one side no less than 5, or 20 foot with one side no less than 7. In this circumstance, we have to abide by the corner, and that's 20%, and that creates a hardship as well. But we were able to, with the design that I proposed, work with still being 20% on the corner yard and not obstructing the triangle view in the corners for vision. So
are both lots at this point, are both structures considered corner lots such that both the south and north sides require that 20%?
it is, but it's since it's connected, only the southern side gets affected.
Right. So the northern side could be the 5-foot setback.
It could be, but that's where I'm already shedding. It's built like that now, and instead of 5 feet, I'm going to do 19.8 feet to really give the neighbor space. And there's space around the back, there's space around each side, and it makes the north lot not be right on the minimum and slammed on the side. So it gives them the bigger property, because technically the easement is still your property. It's another 2,000 square foot to that southern person. So instead of slamming the other guy right on the 5 feet and then really giving the southern person a huge lot, this kind of makes them both have equally good sized yards. And it's just, it just works out better for looking good in the neighborhood, not encroaching on the neighbors, and for water shedding, still fitting all the cars on the property, not messing with the view triangle. It's just, and not overbuilding,
Okay, so I'm going
It's
to
the minimum.
articulate back what I'm hearing from you, which is because it is a corner lot, the south side yard does not have to have a 5-foot minimum. It has to have a 12-foot minimum to be that 20%. And so you've met that 12 foot by getting to 12 and a half. your northern side yard could by code be 5 foot, but for the symmetrical nature of the townhomes as they're being built, that wouldn't really make sense because you'd end up with one side that's elongated or one side that's truncated. And so for balance, you've created additional spacing to accommodate your north side neighbor while maintaining 10 feet at the rear yard to try to make sure that you're not encroaching too much on your westerly side yard neighbor. And so your request for a variance on the rear yard setback is to accommodate the spacing that you put on your side yard setback because it is a corner lot.
That's correct.
And your request for a variance on coverage is for what you articulated as the requirements of parking took you over coverage for the primary structure and the parking driveways. And that's why you're asking for the relief there, but that in aggregate you will remain below the 50% requirement for permeability. It'll just be that your primary structure is taking on the brunt of that 50%.
That's correct.
That's helpful. Thank you for helping me to.
Well, thank you for making it clear.
Any other questions from the board?
No, I have none.
What is the square footage of each townhouse?
Roughly 1760. They're 4-bedroom, 2.5 bathrooms. They're minimum size. Like one of the bedrooms in the rear is 11 by 9.5, and that's commonly used for an office. But there's room for a good sized family and young professionals, and covers all the parking. So,
which of the neighbors have you spoken with?
I live with, like I said, all of them, like, in the whole perimeter. But so the neighbor that would deal with the rear yard setback the most, the one to my west, he prefers the house being skinnier so that he still has a view of 9th Street from like his window. And if and then the neighbor to the north, they have a big RV that they park like right on the property line. And he's like, well, if you're 10 foot, nobody's going to go and pull one of these things on the side. Like I have my boat there now that is on his property line, but he's cool. I've lived there for years, and it's behind him at the front of my house, so it's conforming. But when you make it smaller and skinnier, it gives him a better view. And he just was like, man, nobody can park anything like that, man. But yeah, so basically, they're a family. You know, my rear neighbor and my left side, and the neighbor to the west. They live in 2 different houses, but they're the same family. It's the grandparents and the daughter with his son and husband. And I kind of showed them like a few ways that I could do the lot if I got this variance, opposed to like what I would build if I like with conforming right now with the setbacks. And they were both in favor of this one, and all it made me do was pay the $500 and come do this meeting. So I was in favor for that for them.
Okay. Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Do
you.
we have any speakers cards?
No speaker cards I have.
Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this item? No? All right. We'll take it for motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve BOA 2610016 based on testimony and information given.
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion.
Reasonable. I mean, look at 15-foot wide townhouse is very reasonable. Again, I think it's doing best.
Yeah.
And balancing neighbor input is great to hear.
Anything else? All right. We'll take it to a vote.
Douglas Dell,
Yes.
Jeff Trular,
Yes.
Karen Darty,
Yes.
Gary Hockett,
Yes.
Matt Metz.
Yes, your your variance request has been approved.
Next case, BOA 2610017, applicant Jacqueline George, property address 39 South 33rd Avenue, current zoning RS1. Motion to consider 34611E1C3 for rear yard setback of 20 feet in lieu of 30 feet minimum, 34613E1H for an accessory structure setback from the main structure of 6 inches in lieu of 5 feet minimum for a new pergola and to address existing nonconformities.
Does anybody on the board have any ex parte communication?
I've had none.
I've had none.
I have none.
And I've had none. Please step forward to be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand, state your name and address.
Christopher George, 39 33rd Avenue South.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Go ahead.
As it states, we're looking to build a pergola off the back porch of where we're building an outdoor kitchen on the patio. This would be for covered dining with a pergola area for shade and comfort of eating and dining with family. The setback mentions the rear setback. This is a corner lot, so there's two front yard setbacks from the west and the south, which kind of pushes it back in the on the lot. So there's a 10-foot setback currently. I don't know if you would consider that the rear or the side, depending on which frontage you're looking at. And then to the east, there is 30 plus feet there on the lot. So we consider that the rear for the rear depth, but kind of depends on what you're looking at there. So really the variance we're asking for is to build the pergola 6 inches from our primary structure so it does not encroach on the neighbor's property line, so it meets the 5-foot setback.
Just to clarify, the accessory structure of 6 inches is the pergola will be 6 inches off the home, not 5
Correct.
feet. Any,
And I assume you bought this house as is with the non-conformity?
Uh,
No. Well, yes, with the non-conformities. We did do a renovation a couple of years ago as well.
you didn't change footprint at all.
We added an addition where if you see how I can explain this easily. If you go back to that picture real quick, there's a 3rd car garage and the patio coverage that you're looking at is now covered. That patio was there, but it wasn't covered before. But
That didn't change your setbacks, though.
it didn't change the setbacks. No.
Thank you. No question I had.
And I take it you've spoken to your neighbors?
What's that?
You have spoken with your neighbors?
I had, a couple of them came and asked. I didn't speak with all of them. But I kind of mentioned that the real setback was really from our primary residence. We're trying to not encroach on anybody else's setbacks. Looking at the images, I'm trying to see which side of the home. Okay, so it is right against the fence on the side, but there's the open kitchen space. Let's see on the survey. Are there any pre-existing variances for the home? I don't believe so. I have not applied for one. I think the west side on the survey says 24.7 feet, so it's a little shy of the 25 frontage on that side. But there's two frontages, but I think that was all original. I don't know if that variance was ever submitted for that.
After doing research, there wasn't any variances on there. Everything was built as is, so it was before the LDC, so there probably are non-conformities on the.
Okay, good. That's why it fell into non-conformities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking at the side yard in the image, and it looks like the side yard is less than the 10-foot listed by the minimum yards, but I don't see a variance request for this. So I'm just trying to see, are there existing nonconformities that aren't being addressed here? Or, right, like the side that the pergola is on, the image shows that is that a full 10 feet? I don't know, it says 5 feet, but then it only goes like halfway to the pergola, so I don't know if there's another 5 feet from there that gets to the house.
Oh yeah, there should be 10 foot to the property line from the side of the structure of the home.
Okay. And then looking at the survey for the rear yard where we're requesting 20 feet, it's not clear that the measurement is that the existing rear is only 20 feet off the.
Yeah, I don't think I requested. I think there was
Yeah,
confusion
he
that
didn't
what
request-
the rear was.
Yeah, he didn't request that, but once we went back and measured everything, it was an existing nonconformity. We just added on there just to address what's already nonconforming.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just looking at the survey and it does show 30 feet, but the 30 feet doesn't measure the rear of the home. So I was just looking for a measurement that showed the rear of the home. So you're saying that the city has verified that it is a 20-foot measurement to the existing rear of the home, and that's the nonconformity that's being addressed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful. Any other questions for the applicant?
None.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any speakers cards on this item?
Only speaker card we had was the applicant.
Okay. Anybody in the audience like to speak on this item? All right, bring it to the board for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve case, 2610017, based on testimony and evidence provided in the request, has met the standards for variances outlined in 34286 of the Land Development Code.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion on the item?
Reasonable.
It's reasonable, yeah.
It's a pergola, it's not a hard structure.
Okay. We'll take it to a vote.
Jeff Trular,
Yes.
Karen Darty,
Yes.
Douglas Dell,
Yes.
Gary Hockett,
Yes.
Matt Metz.
Yes. Your variance request has been approved. Go back. That was the last case. Anything with the planning department?
Next meeting will be April 7th, and there are 2 items on the agenda.
April 2nd.
7th. I said right,
Yeah,
7th.
right now.
I don't know why I think I said 2nd. 7th.
April 7th.
All right. Courtesy to the floor. If anybody would like to, anyone? No. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Adjourned.